Hi, this is Mike Brown, owner of Death Wish Coffee Company. Welcome to Fueled by Deathcast.
I love Jeff, but sweet and hot. Whoop, there's so much drama, coffee and spice.
Death Wish Coffee presents Fueled by Deathcast, the world's strongest podcast. With your hosts, the incredible Jeff and the amazing D-Man.
Welcome, everybody, to Fueled by Deathcast. Happy New Year.
No, shit, another one.
It is actually 2019. Welcome to the new year, and welcome to the year that Blade Runner happened.
Oh, no shit.
November 2019 is the original Blade Runner there.
They missed the mark on that one.
Yeah,
huh?
we're not wearing any of those clothes. But welcome to the show, everybody. We're really excited to kick off the new year. This is episode 107, and as always, I am the incredible Jeff.
And I am the amazing D-Man.
And we'd love it if you followed us over on social media. It's super easy to do. Personally, I am at Jeff Wish Coffee.
And I am at Death Wish Dustin.
And we have brand new social media for the show now as well. It is at Fueled by Deathcast across all platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And we're trying to have a lot of fun on those platforms. We're just building our fan base right now. I'm going to start, asking questions of you, the viewer and the listener, and, obviously give you guys some of the content from these episodes, some past episodes, maybe some behind-the-scenes stuff. So you're not going to want to miss that. Follow us on all social platforms at Fueled by Deathcast. And speaking of social media, we're not going to start 2019 without professing our undying love for Christian Slater, and please go follow Christian Slater on all social media as well.
BrockFox.com.
At Real Christian Slater. But you brought it up. Let's thank our good friend Brock Powell.
BrockFox.com.
That's the one. Brock Powell is the voice actor on this show and 1,000 voices out there in the world. Follow him on social media. Go on over and check out everything he does at BrockFox.com. And hopefully we're going to do some fun new stuff with Brock this year. In fact, we're going to have him back on the show this year, which is going to be a lot of fun. As a guest, we're going to talk to him about some of the stuff he got into last year and some of the future projects he's got going on. And we love Brock to death.
Secret code unlocked. Discount of death.
This week, and, well, God damn it, every week.
Yeah.
If you use the discount code discount of death,
Oh,
that
word.
will nail you 12% off of everything on deathwishcoffee.com. Jeff, tell them how that works.
All you got to do at deathwishcoffee.com, put anything you are going to want to buy in your shopping cart, and then when you go to the cart, you're going to see a little box that says enter discount code here. Just type in discount of death, all one word, in there, and you'll get 12% off your entire purchase forever, every time you do it. We used to switch up the code a lot, and that just kind of weighed on us a little bit because we'd always have to think of a new code and a new product, and it's like we just want to give you guys a way to save money at the end of the day. So This is the easiest way to do it. Discounted death, 12% off your entire purchase on deathwishcoffee.com. And this week, we have a very special guest. This is from our block of guests that we interviewed when we went to Los Angeles last year on our incredible adventure, interviewing 1,000 people in one day.
It's hard to believe that was only like, 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah, crazy.
It feels like it happened like 10 years ago.
It
like
really-
it was another life, like somebody else did it, and I'm just remembering small parts of it. It's so weird how, when you have big adventures like that, how your brain stores those memories.
Totally.
It's so cool.
So we're kicking off a whole month long of shows in January devoted to guests that are healthy and active and a lot better at life than you and I think. Because
Speak for yourself, goddammit.
At least me. And we're kicking it off with an incredible person, Hana Devore. And she has done it all. She worked in the coffee industry for a little bit for the Loring Company. She has worked as a fitness model. She's worked as a fitness professional. She now works for this incredible company. I'm going to get it wrong. Real Good Food?
You got it right.
I got it right.
Real good foods.
Foods, that's it.
Yes.
And that makes healthy options for people who are looking for that sort of thing. And
Did you try any of those? As she said,
So good.
Yeah, those enchiladas were like, oh.
Yeah, she sent us enchiladas and pizzas with chicken for the crust.
Yeah, instead of crust and tortillas, they use chicken. It's such a good idea.
I'll put up some links to that company in this show as well, because we do talk about it with Hana.
I hear they're in Walmart now.
Yes,
Just like
they
us,
are.
so you can get your Death Wish coffee and your Real Good Foods chicken crust pizza.
Perfect.
What more could you ask for?
Hana was so nice to invite us into her home, and we recorded this episode right on her back porch with L.A. in the distance.
That's so cool.
And a beautiful summer night, actually fall night. And,
I don't even know. It's always summer out there.
Yeah, it's always summer. And we talked about, being in fitness, what it means to stay fit in today's day and age when everybody's trying to give you all the worst food and the worst, things.
Stupid fitness trends.
Yeah.
All over the place. How do you tell the difference between a good fitness trend and a stupid fitness trend?
Exactly. And all that and more. She is a wealth of knowledge. So mugs up this week for our death guest, Hana Devore.
The Fueled by Death guest.
I wanted to start this off by talking about how I kind of got connected with you was through the coffee world.
Yeah.
And I want to start by asking you, how did you get into the coffee world? What interests you in the coffee world? Like, how did that all start off for you?
Yeah. So I worked in wine for 10 years in marketing. And it's, millennials are coming up and they're starting to influence the wine industry.
Yep.
But wine is still dominated by that older generation.
Yeah.
And it is still, no matter what, Napa is still really stuffy. And for 10 years, I wore a suit jacket. I covered my tattoos. When it was 105 degrees outside and we were doing wine tasting events, I was covered up because I still have to be. And I found coffee. I mean, I was looking for a job that was a little bit closer to home. I was just kind of starting to think about it.
Yeah.
And I talked to Dennis over at Loring. And when we talked about coffee for a while, and I realized that coffee's like a younger, cooler wine industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never thought about it that way, but yeah.
And also, in wine, people in their 20s and 30s can't just start a business. You can't just start a winery like you can start a coffee company.
Right.
So, the barriers to entry just are nuts.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of wineries are owned by actors, people who already made money in Silicon Valley, musicians and, and athletes. And in coffee, I saw all these young business owners and that was I thought that was just so cool.
Yeah.
So part of it was just kind of looking for something closer to home and not having to drive all the way to Napa, because I was over just north of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Okay.
And then I was driving all the way over to Napa.
Oh, wow.
So I found Loring and coffee just turned out to be the coolest.
Yeah, coffee is fun. But, there is some stuffy corners of the coffee world.
And then I saw that. Yeah. So again, coffee is really similar to wine in that they're still snobs.
Yeah.
And I would go and do a tasting at Blue Bottle, and I would go okay, this is pretty much the wine industry.
I do like Blue Bottle, but yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is very notes of what?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but I definitely caught a lot of those moments with some of those people because we're this, this new coffee company that just came out into the market and just kind of took everybody by storm, and people are like, who are you? What are you doing
guys
here? Roasting
roasting dark too. Like, do you get shit for how you roast?
We get shit for everything because when we first were coming into a consciousness, right around the Super Bowl commercial that we got, it was, I forget, somebody did an article on us. It might have been Huffington Post or something, and they coined the term subversive marketing. And they used us as an example, and it was just just in your face, we're the pirates that come to town, and we're roasting dark. We're saying we're the world's strongest coffee. You go to a coffee, I love this. You go to a coffee convention, and you see everybody in their booths, and they're all they all have their own aesthetic, and you immediately know where the fuck Death Wish coffee is, because we are a bunch of bearded, tattooed. All in black, skull and crossbones. So we've gotten flack for pretty much everything we've done.
Yeah.
Since the inception of it.
Which is great.
Yeah.
I love.
I mean, PR wise, you guys have done amazing.
Thanks.
I would have to say,
you.
but yeah, from working with Loring and working with people like Patrick Rolfe and all these Nordic guys.
Yeah.
Who are roasting like tea.
Right.
I can see how there would be, some differing opinions.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that light roast thing is a fad and it'll pass.
Really?
Yeah.
I
I don't
agree.
know. I think it's something like 90% of coffee consumers prefer dark roast.
Well, and that's true. Yeah. So yeah, if you think about the rest of the country,
Right.
there's this pocket of people who want that light roast, but
Right.
most people are going to dump a bunch of crap into their coffee. So you do have to make coffee for them, or they're just used to drinking something that's stronger, and they think that they're going to get a better buzz off of it too. So if I were to give a cup of that very light roasted coffee to my boss, he would be like, "What is this? Isn't strong enough."
Yeah.
Yeah,
because the flavor isn't there. It's
Yeah.
it's not like what you would expect when you think of a cup
Yeah.
of coffee. You think of a black, dark, bold cup of coffee, and we were just trying to hit that mark. And
yeah.
Enough
But you
about
guys,
us.
but you do a variety of roasts though.
we do
No?
the Death Wish roast, and
Yeah.
then we do Zach Wild's Valhalla Java,
Oh,
which
okay.
is also another dark roast.
Yeah.
but we
Cool.
we do it's a Guatemalan, Honduran, Sumatran mix
Yeah.
with some other things. But
Okay, cool.
That's not technically true because, if we are talking about alluring roaster, like we do utilize our roaster. We were partnered with a local coffee company, Saratoga Coffee Traders, actually where Death Wish started. And we do roast their blends as well off of our
and then we'll
roaster.
do our
We
seasonal
don't
stuff.
sell
Okay, so you'll do
those.
stuff for other people.
Yes.
Yeah, because they
We get
they
good
can't
work
like,
out of those
afford allure.
machines.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
you're a educated nutritionalist or nutritionist. How do you say that?
No, I can't claim that title.
Okay.
but I started competing in fitness. I started to do some a little bit of coaching because I'm on a team. And in you don't have to be on a team in bodybuilding, but it's ideal, I would say, because you want that kind of support.
Yeah.
And usually these teams will have like a head coach and then maybe a couple coaches below them.
Okay.
And after I'd been doing it for about 4.5 years, my coach who owns the team was like, "Hey, do you want to try this out?" So I help a few girls, but I'm not like a full-blown, dietitian or anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no false claims here, but what
No.
is your view on the health benefits or maybe the health effects of coffee?
Oh, well, everything, I think most of what I've read has been positive.
Yeah.
Right? I drink a ton of it. I through bodybuilding, I discovered how you can get yourself into adrenal fatigue, but that's not just caffeine related. That there's so many things. So I ended up having to do a quick caffeine detox. I did it for 3 weeks after I had been competing, and I'd stressed myself out mentally and physically so much that I actually I got everything tested, like my hormones and my adrenals and my cortisol was all messed up.
Yeah.
So I had to do a quick caffeine break. But I think that most of the stress was actually coming from 2 workouts a day, mental stress, trying to work, not eating enough.
Yeah.
Not eating enough is probably the biggest issue.
Yeah, it's huge.
But I'm all for coffee. I drink it all day.
How much do you drink in a day?
I'll do. So I got myself. It's cheap, but I got myself a little cold brew kit from Amazon. So I'm making my own cold brew.
Yeah.
So I'll get up, I'll have cold brew, go to the gym, get to work, and sometimes I'll go to Starbucks. I'm sorry.
No, we go to Starbucks too.
Hey.
It was the first place. It was one of the first places when we.
Yeah.
In and Out was first.
It happens.
And
It's
then the
there.
dispensary
You
might have
know,
been
you know
out
what you're getting when you walk in.
yeah.
You know,
In and Out dispensary. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Starbucks. It's okay.
Yep.
We all
okay.
drink it.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. I walked into Loring one day with a Starbucks in my hand, and Rob Hoos happened to be there, just helping us out. Do you know him? Nosa Familia. He's got a beer. He's a really nice guy. He does seminars and stuff. But
Okay.
anyways,
I don't think I've met him.
He's just an expert on Loring roasters, and I walked in with a Starbucks, and I tried to put it behind my back really quick, and he was like, "I saw that green straw," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
Oh no.
Oh man.
I don't know. That's a weird viewpoint to take. I think even shitty coffee
yeah,
is
and
good.
he was cool about it, but he's like, "I see you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I'll do Starbucks, and then depending on how work is going, sometimes I'll have to do a little more. We have a
Yeah.
shitty little Keurig with Kahlua coffee pods. And,
Yeah, nice.
we're not at my new job. We're not coffee snobs.
Oh well,
That's
we'll have
for
to
sure.
send you some Death Wish so you can.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
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 Cool.
They would love it.
So where are you at now?
So I went from wine to coffee to pizza.
Pizza.
So, yeah.
It's not normal pizza though, but
it's not normal pizza. No. So I found this company as just a young fitness competitor a few years ago. They came to me on Instagram and they were like, "Hey, have you tried our product yet? Because it's like a healthy, low carb version of basically, your junky pizza."
Yeah.
So they were just a fresh startup, just like a couple people in the office, and they were starting to hit the fitness demographic, which made sense. And I took a look at them and I said, "Well, you guys look pretty new. Do you need some help with your marketing? Because I can maybe help you as a consultant on the side." So I've been helping them out. It's called the Real Good Food Company. I've been helping them out as a consultant for a couple of years, and then I just took the full-time job doing their marketing.
Wow.
So
Nice.
yeah, it's super cool. So we do everything's frozen. We do pizza, enchiladas. We just launched cauliflower pizza because everyone's got to do cauliflower pizza right now.
Pizza.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I love it.
Yeah,
great.
yeah. And this one's pretty cool because it's like it really is just cauliflower, egg, and cheese to bind it.
Nice.
But a lot of cauliflower pizzas actually are packed with wheat and flour and corn and whatever. So this company focuses on keeping carbs truly low. So we've gone after like keto people, even diabetics,
that makes sense.
and just general people who need to lose weight,
Yeah.
want to eat healthy. So it's been fun. I get to eat
Wow.
pizza every day.
Now there's a pizza that you make that I could be wrong, and I've been telling everybody this because I was blown away. That the crust is made out of chicken.
Yeah.
Is that
So
real? How does that happen?
Yeah, and I know it sounds weird, but it works.
Wow.
So it's chicken breast and Parmesan, and just the way that it's made. I'm actually going to the plant tomorrow for the first time to see how it's done.
Oh,
I mean,
nice.
I know in my head how it's done, but now I get to see it done right in front of me. So it's packed together, and then when it's baked, it works as a crust. It holds up, and then it's got whatever toppings we do, like supreme and pepperoni and.
It's so strange. I gotta try that.
Yeah,
some-
I'll
some
send you
point.
guys some.
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
Yeah.
I'd love to try
Awesome.
that.
Yeah.
Do you still compete in fitness?
No,
and stuff?
so I'm still tracking my food. I'm still working out a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm in what's called like an off season.
Okay.
This is like it's like an infinite off season because I
Yeah.
don't know if it has an end.
Yeah,
but
that's like my jujitsu. I totally get it.
we gotta talk about jujitsu. I just
Oh, yeah.
started. Yeah.
Yeah, we were just with Liz Carmouche with the 10th Planet crew
Oh,
down in San
cool.
Diego, so we can talk
Yeah,
about
very
that.
cool. You guys need to talk to Eddie. Whew.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Eddie Bravo.
I
Yes.
figured.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I wasn't thinking it was like any
d-
money.
I didn't know if you were totally in the
That-
dark there.
that works too. Be prepared. If you do a podcast with him, just be prepared. It's gonna be like 3 to 4 hours long.
That's fine.
It's gonna be awesome, and you're gonna learn all about what's happening in the government. What's
Yeah,
really
we
happening.
can talk about flat Earth, Jeff.
Yay.
Yeah. He's onto some new shit too, which is pretty cool.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah. So I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
But like I kind of just put on a little bit of weight, a little bit of fat, which women should have.
yeah.
Because it's really hard to be that lean for that long.
Yeah. It's
and-
unhealthy, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it's not good for our hormones.
It's probably not good for performance if you
It's-
want to go to the gym and actually like.
it's just not sustainable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know, I just took a new job
Mhm.
and I'm the vice president of marketing and I want to kick ass at that
Yeah.
job. So I can't have that brain fog that comes with not eating any food.
Right.
So
And you get pizza all the time, so.
I know. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, but it's low carb pizza.
I gotta
you
be-
get it.
yeah,
That's true.
it's-
That's true.
yeah.
That's true. What drew you to competing in the first place?
Let's see. So I started lifting weights when I was with a guy. It was just like kind of a bad relationship, and I needed an outlet. I needed something to go do by myself. And I was going to the gym, but just like I would get on the treadmill, I was bored, and I just didn't feel. I think I kind of wanted to feel like a badass.
Yeah.
And my dad, growing up, my dad had always told me that women should lift weights, and he was like, don't get on the treadmill, go into the weight room, and you're not going to get big and bulky. You're just
There's
gonna,
so much
you're just
stigma
gonna
behind
get
that
some.
too. Just
Yeah.
like, oh, if I lift weights, I'm gonna get big.
Yeah, and my
Hasn't worked
dad
for me
lifted.
yet.
Yeah, it hasn't really worked for me. But and so he would always tell me that that women should lift. And then finally I kind of had to like do it on my own, you know, first because I was stubborn. So I found a super beginner program on bodybuilding.com because I was just curious. And I started lifting in this tiny gym in San Francisco because there was no one there. So I felt like I didn't, I wasn't going to embarrass myself. And started lifting, and I started getting really good results. I think just because it was like a shock to my body.
Yeah.
So after I think less than a year, I went to a competition just out of curiosity in San Francisco or in Sacramento, and I'm just kind of walking around, and my now coach looked at me and she was like, "Do you compete?" And I was like, "No." And she was like, "I think you could." I'm like, "Okay." So then a couple weeks later, I competed for the first time, and then it just like snowballs,
And now you've won competitions before.
Yeah,
right?
I won my first one,
Wow.
which was like weird. So apparently I was doing something right. But again, like that first cut, first couple years of lifting, like I made big changes to my body without really having to use any extremes. I just kind of tweaked my diet and started lifting weights, and it worked. And so then you go to the national level. And when you go to nationals, the goal is to get your pro card. So if you win a national show, now you're a pro.
Okay.
And then now you compete in the IFBB, the International Federation of Bodybuilding, and you're going up against the pros. And then there's a chance to win a little bit of money, but this is not a job.
Yeah.
It's actually really expensive.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Why do it then?
It's kind of the question that I've been asking lately, and that's why I've been not doing it for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you have to have a really strong why, and I've talked to other girls like, well, why are you going after your pro card, and why are you putting your body through this? And some have a really good reason, which is great. They're like, I want to prove something to myself, or I had a baby and I want to, I need to get on the stage and show that I can do this. But I did it a couple times, and then my why kind of went away, and my priorities shifted to, my career. Like, this is the time. Like, I don't have kids. This is the time for me to be building my career.
Yeah.
Do you still coach at all?
A couple girls. Yeah, a couple. So, and I'm really working under my coach, Jamie DeBernard. She's like figure Olympian. She was like on the big stage.
Oh, wow.
She is the expert, so I rely on her for a lot, for that guidance. And then I help a couple girls out.
That's cool.
That's very
Yeah.
very cool.
So now you're in the 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu system. I see you rolling over there.
Yeah. I'm new. I'm really fresh, and I'm trying to fit it in, and that's a challenge too.
Yeah,
How do I balance it with lifting?
Yep.
And so basically in a day, okay, I want to do cardio, I want to lift, I want to do jujitsu, and I want to get 10,000 steps in. How am I going to do all that shit?
Yeah, wow.
Good luck. And I'm not going to. So now
Yeah.
I'm having to figure out, how I want to balance this. So.
How's that been going for you so far?
It's tough. It's tough for me to not go to the gym.
Yep.
I think I almost feel a little bit of guilt when I'm not lifting.
Yep.
Like, I've just been doing it for 6 years.
Yeah.
So logically, I know that I don't actually have to go lift weights every single day, and I probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm loving jujitsu. I always try to make this Saturday class, this women's class,
cool.
with Donna. She's amazing.
Yeah.
And then on the weeknights, I'll try to hit like a Tuesday or Wednesday class if I can. So I'll go to the beginner class at 7:30, and then at 8:30 the advanced class comes in. That's the one that Eddie teaches.
Oh, cool.
And I'll just sit there and watch and just
that's
listen, which
cool.
is just
Yeah.
like really cool.
Yeah, I'm sure that's quite a lesson.
How long have you been doing it for?
I was doing it for, I think, 5 or 6 years. I had a couple of moments where, the injuries happen. I had a ligament tear in my knee. I messed up my big toe really bad. I've broken every finger you could think of. And then it just got to a point where my neck and shoulder got so bad. I think it's mostly from my rock and roll career of headbanging.
Headbanging? Yeah.
And probably giving myself whiplash probably 500 to 1,000 times a year.
Yeah.
And I can't do it anymore because as soon as somebody tugs on my neck, I'm feeling it for months.
That's funny. So Andy, my boyfriend, is dealing with neck issues right now.
Yeah, it's pretty common.
And he's like, well, I've been headbanging for 20 years.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
It's like,
hurts.
no wonder.
It hurts.
Yeah,
when
I
you
mean,
go
I'm
on
sure I
stage.
can go get that looked at and fixed, and I probably will at some point.
Yeah.
But at this point, I've just gotten into weightlifting, and I've fallen head over heels.
Yeah, you love it. I see you doing your deadlifts.
Yeah,
I love it.
oh God,
Yeah.
deadlifts
Deadlifts
are
are the
so
best.
primal.
They're so much fun.
Yeah, and that's pretty much jujitsu was my outlet. I needed something primal to do, like get back to my the Neanderthal DNA, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's good. I mean, it's good for anyone to know how to just wrestle, you know. But I feel like it's such a dude thing to be able to just like take someone down and like choke them. Like I think any guy should be able to do that.
Yeah, yeah. At least nowadays, it's such a different world now,
Yeah.
especially with jiu-jitsu being so prominent. But yeah, it's because of, and once again, I'm career focused.
Yeah.
And it was actually affecting my job because I was just in pain all the time.
no.
I couldn't even like lift my arm for a while because my and you know that jiu-jitsu mentality of just like just keep on rolling, it'll heal
Yeah.
itself kind of thing, and that got to me too. And then
Were you training in the gi?
I was doing everything. Yeah,
Okay.
I was doing kickboxing. I was training mixed martial arts. I was doing
Yeah.
the whole nine. But
Jeez.
just that, you know, it was fine when I was in my 20s, and then it's just, you know, injury after injury, and then. But that's why I got into weightlifting, was because it kind of got my body back together. You know, I don't have the back problems I used
Really?
to have. My
Okay.
shoulder's fine, and I never went to the doctor for it. But I just kind of lifted weights through it. That's
Yeah.
probably a horrible thing.
That's
but
probably.
Yeah, kind of.
You're like, everything hurts. I'll just do some deadlifts.
Yeah.
and it worked. What do you know?
Yeah, and you pull sumo, right?
I mix it up now. I
Do you-
started
okay.
using trap bar, so
Oh,
I
cool,
started
yeah.
lifting a little traditional that way, and I'm finding that you used to lift sumo. You
I
recently
used
made
to.
the
I
switch.
switched over to. Yeah, I
Is
switched
there
to
a reason for
conventional.
that? Everybody gives me shit for sumo, and I'm so new to it. I don't fully understand.
I mean, I love sumo, and I have strong legs. Like my legs are super dominant.
That's why I do it. I was a
So,
cyclist. I was a
yeah.
skier. I was a snowboarder. Everything's around. I
Yeah.
was a track runner. It's all my legs. So that's
If
why I
you've
started
got legs and and glutes that can fire and your hips can handle it,
Yep.
I love sumo. But I went from working out completely by myself, just in like a health club in San Francisco, to actually working out at a powerlifting gym. I find these guys, they opened one. If you're ever in the area, it's like an hour north of San Francisco. It's awesome. It's called Chalk It Up. And
Yeah,
it
I've
is,
seen you post from there,
Yeah, it's such a cool place, and they're really supportive. So as soon as I started lifting there, they started helping me, and I would be like, "Hey, can you like take a look at this for a second?" And I realized that there were issues with my sumo form, and so my knees were kind of falling in.
Yep.
And I tried to fix it, and after a couple weeks, I wasn't really succeeding in fixing it. So then one of the owners was like, "Why don't you just try pulling conventional?" Which
Yeah.
I thought that I couldn't because I thought my arms weren't long enough.
Oh, that's.
But
yeah.
we fixed something where I kind of dropped my hips a little bit,
Yep.
so I am able to lock my lats,
Yep.
and I am able to to not hunch.
Yeah.
And once I pulled conventional with the right form a couple times, I was like, I don't know if I can ever go back.
Interesting.
So, I mean, I still love sumo because it's like a sumo deadlift that's my first big lift I ever did.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. And I was like a bikini girl, and so, bikini is the division I compete in, which is the smallest in, muscularity. And these girls typically don't lift like power lifters.
Right.
Because we're not really trying to put on that kind of size.
Right.
So for a couple years doing these shows, I was just doing like air squats and like kickbacks and like fitness girl workouts, like Instagram girl work,
Yeah.
And then finally I was like, I'm just gonna like do some deadlifts and like not tell my coach.
Yeah.
And I just started pulling sumo, and I was like, this is so fun.
Yeah.
I felt so powerful. Yeah, and it actually didn't hurt my physique at all. And I actually think that it made my physique better.
Yeah, I imagine it would.
I mean, big lifts are going to affect people differently, and I think it depends on how much you're eating, and are you doing steroids, whatever. Yeah. But I think that those powerlifting lifts work really well with my body.
How well is that translated into jiu-jitsu? Because that's something I haven't really gotten to delve into, is now using of course, I've only been doing it for about a year, so I'm not like that deep into it, but I always wondered how that powerlifting transitions into a jiu-jitsu movement.
Well, mobility is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
So that's still a concern. There's stuff I can't do. A guillotine's really hard for me because I have muscle on my shoulder and it kills my front delt. And I see these other girls who don't really lift and don't really have anything here, and they're able to it's just super easy.
Yeah.
So I have to work extra hard on mobility. And, and my glutes are always tight because I'm always wanting to train glutes and hamstrings. And now my favorite lift is a hip thrust.
Yep.
So getting into rubber guard, do you train at a 10th Planet?
No, but I'm
some of
familiar.
okay, so you know the language.
Yeah, it's kind of how I blew out my knee, was fucking around with rubber guard and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can see that happening. And
it was probably because I didn't have
have
somebody who knew how to do that telling me what to do. I was watching like Mastering the System.
You're like, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, and my coach was standing over me being like, dude, you're going to fuck your knee up. And then I had somebody in a Gogo Plata during a tournament, and they just lurched forward, and my LCL tore. And
I can see that happening so easily in jiu-jitsu.
It's right
things
there.
Happen
you're so compromised, and
yeah, you're always twisted up like a pretzel. So that it's like you move a centimeter and something's gonna happen.
And I'm not a very big guy. At the time, I was 145 pounds, so I was just getting smashed and torn apart, and it was not.
Yeah.
It was not fun for me.
No,
and I don't have a wrestling background, so it's like
You were just starting from scratch.
I was starting.
Yeah,
from
that's
scratch.
me too.
I mean, I had a karate background, so my hips are flexible, and
that's good.
Like, and that's why I started messing with the rubber guard stuff, because I was working from my guard so much. My triangle was my best move by far. I could get anybody in triangle because I can get my legs behind my head. That's not a problem.
Okay.
But
yeah,
I think
mobility
that was
is like
ultimately my demise was over flexibility, and I think that's what was happening with my shoulder and stuff like that, because I was going in those guillotines, because I was getting Americana lock on my arm, and I'm not tapping because it's not really hurting at the time. And just that wear and tear, and like I said, as a 30-something-year-old dude, it's just it starts
hard.
to add
we
up.
don't recover the same. I'm 32 now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I'm at that point where I'm such a noob in jiu-jitsu that I'm like pretty tap happy.
Yeah.
So as soon as someone's like doing something, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, no, I don't know what's happening here. Tap.
So I gotta, I have to find that balance, between not letting it go too long.
It's way better to tap. It's way better. I mean, it's like, what are you trying to win anyway? It's I think a lot of dudes get caught up in that tough guy mentality. It's tap or nap, bro. It's like, get out of here.
Yeah, but yeah, mobility is the biggest issue. But when I was curious about it, because I had an ex who trained jiu-jitsu, and it was kind of like his thing, and I didn't really get the vibe that he wanted me to train. So now, I moved down here, and I was like, I'm just gonna do it. So I walked in, and Eddie was there, and he kind of looked me up and down, and he was like, you got some muscle, but you're small. You can hang. And I was like,
wow.
Okay. Eddie Bravo said I can hang. I'm going to hang.
All right.
Okay.
So I think, he's saying like, being kind of compact, but having strength is really good. And he said that a lot of the time women will come to 10th Planet and they'll have no muscle on them. And he'll say, you actually need to go and do some sort of a program and then come back.
Yeah. I mean, he's been an advocate for lifting. He said in his career that he didn't really see hitting like success until he went and started doing some lifting and gained a little bit of weight.
Yeah.
I've heard him say that a couple times. Yeah. Now, in this world of fitness and health and everything as far as that goes, there's so much information out there, and it's hard to tell what actually works and what is just a bunch more jargon where somebody's actually trying to make a buck. How do you tell the difference between one or the other?
It's so hard, and luckily I work in marketing, so I can see through a lot of this bullshit.
Yeah.
But it's really difficult, and there's good people on both sides of every argument in this world. Like, I don't know if you saw that, I think today or yesterday Joe Rogan was tweeting that, like, hey, I'm gonna start having debates on my podcast because there's too many. Yeah, he's like, and he was kind of apologetic about it. He's like, I'll have someone on, and then everyone thinks I'm on that side.
Yeah, he says something like, I'm too stupid to debate them. Like, I'm just letting them have their message.
Yeah, so he's going to start, Lane Norton.
I don't.
Yeah, so Lane, big-time powerlifter, big pioneer and advocate in the flexible dieting world. He will argue about, sugar not having a horrible effect on you, and carbs, and
what does that mean, by the way, flexible dieting?
Flexible dieting is literally just eating anything to hit your X amount of calories per day. So if I'm allowed to hit 1,800 calories, I can go to In-N-Out, I might have to make some shitty choices for the rest of the day. I might have to eat a salad,
Right.
or have some egg whites because I already wasted a lot of calories on in and
Yeah.
out. But it's all about those kind of consequences and choices.
Yeah.
And there's basically the clean eating community.
Yeah.
And then there's flexible dieters, and they've gone at it for a long time.
Yeah.
Because a really clean eater will say, well, you can't just eat anything, and no, a calorie is not just a calorie. Lane Norton, I don't know exactly where he stands these days, but a flexible dieter, a really hardcore one, will say, I'll eat whatever I want to hit those calories. I land right in the middle,
Yeah.
because I do believe in micronutrients, and I do believe in putting good shit in your body.
Yep.
But I also believe in everything in moderation. So like I've got ice cream in the freezer,
Yeah.
and I've got some fun stuff in the
Yeah.
fridge,
Yeah.
and I have Cinnabon cereal, which is really good, but it's great. But I also have a fridge full of vegetables, and that's what I try to prioritize.
Yeah. But do you calorie count then?
But I do, yeah. So
Yeah.
I use an app, and I have my macro goal, so my carbs, proteins, fats.
Yep.
I have a number every day that I try to hit.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to cut a little bit, I'll cut those numbers back. If I want to put on a little bit of size, I'll bump my numbers up a little bit. If I am concerned about my hormone health, I'll give myself some more fats. So yes, right now I've just entered into kind of like a casual cutting phase. So I cut back a little bit, mainly on
Yeah.
carbs. But every day I go into my app, and now it's easier. A lot of people are like, okay, I don't want to be in an app all day. I don't want to have to track every bite I take.
Yeah, I'm so
Yeah.
intimidated by that.
I know, it
don't
sounds like a
wanna
hassle.
track
It
all
sucks
that.
in the beginning,
Yeah.
but after like a couple months, it's so quick. And now I can actually go a whole day, and I kind of know what's in my food.
Yeah.
And so that's called like intuitive eating.
Yeah.
Like you're being mindful. You can look at a plate and be like, that's got about 50 grams of carbs and
Yeah.
about this much protein. And then you can go in later and add it. So it just kind of depends on how hardcore you are. If you're getting ready for a bodybuilding show, everything has to be perfect, of course, But if you're just like trying to gauge where you're at, trying to put on, a lot of guys, it's like they say they want to put on size, and I'm like, I bet you're not eating enough. So track your food and see where you're at. And a lot of the time, a friend will come to me and he'll be like, oh, I didn't realize I was eating 1,600 calories. And, and I'm like, I'm eating more than you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you need to set your goals in that app and eat, whatever, 300 grams of carbs, or, everyone's different. Everyone needs different things.
I've had not so much luck, but I probably should track that a little bit. But I've had moments where it's like, okay, I'm going to try to put on size. I'm going to eat everything. Doesn't work. Not a pound. Not 1 pound. It's crazy, and I'll do it for months, and then I'll go the other way where it's like a trip like this. We're not eating at all. It's insane. We're just going from place to place
Yeah,
to
you're
place.
busy.
And like,
Yeah.
eating in between, but it's like my weight does not fluctuate at all. It's
Kind of
so
blessing and a curse, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I guess it's a curse because at this point I'm powerlifting.
If you want to put
get
on,
bigger,
yeah.
But I guess the way to approach that would be to actually track that and try to come up with
It'd
a
be good to
consistent-
see how much you're actually eating, because
Yeah.
you might be surprisingly under eating.
Yeah.
And you could start to incorporate more calorie dense foods. So, in lieu of maybe a big plate of veggies and steak, maybe a little bit of veggies and something packed with carbs, like a
Interesting.
white rice or something like
Yeah.
that. So, yeah, it's a lot of the time guys just aren't eating enough. And then also it's hard because we're all comparing ourselves to people on Instagram or whatever, or friends or
Yeah.
people at the gym, and a good amount of the time those people aren't natural,
Right.
and we're looking at something that is not even attainable without drugs, you
Right.
know. And
Well,
I
that's
even try
something
to
that you're
tell.
always really good at dispelling, and I think that's what attracted to me to you at first is that you're not caught up in all that bullshit, and you're really spreading a positive self-image information out
Thanks.
there, and that
Try.
I think that's super important because there is so much unrealistic stuff out in the Instagram world,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
pretty tough, especially anybody who has any disorders as far as like self-image
Oh
goes.
yeah, and these girls like I wanted to be transparent after being in the industry for a couple of years, because I've been that girl. I've been that
Yeah.
naive like 24-year-old.
And I think you need to go there to
And-
actually have like a good
Yeah.
idea of how to approach that. in the
Yeah,
end.
and I was like, I thought that everyone was great and that there weren't bad people and that no one was doing steroids and and that everything was just fine and dandy, and then I kind of like got into it, and fitness it's got to be the dirtiest industry.
Really?
It's got to be.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't gotten in deep enough.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I mean there's porn stars, there's people doing a lot of things to make a buck. There's people doing things to make a buck because steroids are so expensive, which is, it's sad. And I kind of feel for those people because it's there's a lot of people chasing something and never really happy. It's like they're not happy with their body, they're not happy with their placing in a show.
Yeah.
So I see kind of some sadness there. For the most part, I've only worked with and met really awesome people.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm really happy with it. I made some really good friends, but there's weird stuff. So I just try to stay out of it.
Yeah. Which is smart.
I think that's very smart.
It's tough. What would you say to somebody who deals with that body dysmorphia issue and how to subvert all of that information out there?
You've got to keep the right people close. You have to keep, even if you don't know too much about the industry or about what's really going on with these people on Instagram, like, if you don't know about steroids per se, you've got to be surrounded by some people who can maybe help snap you out of it.
Yeah.
I was backstage at my first pro show, and I was one of the smaller girls, and I was kind of sitting back there and kind of just watching these girls walk by, and they just, like, even bikini girls, even in my division, their delts are just popping, and they're just shredded to the point of just veins on their abs.
It looks unreal. I'm like, how does that happen?
And I'm kind of sitting there looking, and my coach looked at me, and she was like, okay, but you know what they're doing, right? You're not doing what they're doing. Like, she kind of snapped me out of it. And it's okay that people want to use drugs. Like, I really don't care because I chose the industry.
Right.
I'm not going to complain because if I'm going to complain, why don't I just go do something else? Go do another sport, or go compete in the naturals.
Yeah.
But I have to stay realistic about it. And it's nice to have a coach that's like, that can kind of snap me out of it and that can say, okay, but I'm going to list the 5 things that girl's taking that are the reason why she looks like that, so stay realistic, you know? So, I mean, have good people around you and just, I guess just educate yourself. Because these naive girls who I talk to, I'm like, you got to do some research on what's really going on.
Yeah.
But it's hard. And I've gained most of my confidence in the past few years from competing. Yeah. Because stepping on stage in a bikini is really weird, especially for a tomboy. Like, I would never have thought that I would do that.
Yeah.
But so that kind of put me in touch with like my feminine side. But really just lifting weights and just like going to the gym alone and just putting in headphones and following a program and trying to lift more every single time, I mean, that's really given me confidence.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So through all of this, through your journey through fitness and also your journey through, the marketing side of it and everything, what fuels you to keep doing it? What fuels you to keep going and pursuing these things?
I don't really know how not to. I was
actually
thinking,
a great answer.
I was thinking the other night, I was like, it'd be kind of cool if I just like went home after work at like 6 p.m. and just like watched TV. And I was thinking, like, what would that be like? And it kind of made me uncomfortable because I think I'd sit down and then I'd be like, well, okay, the gym's open till 9. I've got some stuff I should probably clean my house. There's work I need to do. So I don't know.
You have to.
I think I have high expectations of myself too. Yeah. But that can be a problem because I've done that.
There is a line.
I've stretched myself too thin before. Yeah. Where I was like competing, working a full-time job, doing marketing consulting on the side, trying to like have a relationship and just stretching myself.
I'll always think, oh, I can handle it.
But then you burn out. Have you ever?
For sure.
Yeah. So
Definitely
and
starting to feel that at the end of this a little bit. It's like 18 interviews, we'll be all right.
yeah, it's funny. It's you always say like, oh yeah, I can do that.
But
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what?
Yeah.
In the end, we always, as far I'm
You
It always
here.
works out.
Yeah,
make
and I'm
it.
still having
Yeah, you're
fun
alive.
every
Yeah.
single day that we're out here. It's
You just have to be able to go home and recharge.
Yeah.
and decompress.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
For somebody out there who wants to start, getting into weightlifting and weight training.
Jeff's asking for a friend.
Um,
Not just a hypothetical. Totally hypothetical.
What's the best advice you can give them for starting that? I guess the way I could phrase it is, what's the smartest way to get into that?
Yeah. I'd seek out structure. So a structured workout program and a structured but not extremely restrictive diet plan.
Yeah.
And the diet plan can either be literally a meal plan, like eat these foods, or it can be flexible dieting, like, hey, use this app and track your food and just
Right.
hit these calories. Because both are really doing the same thing. A meal plan is getting you to X amount of calories.
Yeah.
Tracking your food is getting you there too. So structure in diet and structure in the program, not just because that's going to give you results, but because that holds us accountable. And a lot of people really crave that structure. And
It's
if you're
habit building.
yeah. If you tell someone, we'll just go to the gym, they're like, I don't know what to do.
Right.
And then they go in there and it's really intimidating.
Yep.
And especially like for a girl, maybe pick up a couple of weights, but then you're just aimless.
Yeah.
So have a program, literally print it out if you need to, or have it on
Yeah.
your phone. I used Jamie Eason's program on bodybuilding.com, super beginner. Now I have a program that my coach writes that's on my phone. Like, we have our own app, which is really cool.
That's awesome.
But
Is that accessible to other people, or is that just
only if
with
you're
your team?
only if you're on our team.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and the team's called Fit Body Fusion. I gotta drop that.
Okay.
Shout out.
And but yeah, that structure, it'll hold you accountable. You'll
I
be
think
able
it's
to
safer
see
too, because you're not
well,
just going.
yeah,
You're not just going in there
true.
and going, ham and trying to do
Right, maybe
everything
I'll
and
just-
eat
yeah.
everything or shock your
Yeah.
body or whatever.
I hate it. I hate to see friends that are so discouraged because they really are trying,
Yeah.
but they don't really know what they're doing. And I was there, and it sucks because you're like, I feel like I'm trying and nothing's happening.
Yeah.
So that's why eventually I did hire a coach when I was really serious about actually competing. Like,
Yeah.
I would say having a coach is necessary if you're going to compete.
right.
But yeah, just having that guidance, programs.
Yeah.
Yeah, being able to see that last week you deadlifted 200 pounds and this week you lifted 210.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool too. So tracking that
Proof
stuff. I think,
positive, for
yeah, I
sure.
think I had a notepad. I think I saw that Dana Lynn Bailey had a like a journal, and so I had a journal too, and I would just write down my workout every week or every day, and then and I would write down how much I lifted, and then week over week I would kind of compare, so I'd be able to see progress. I think
Yeah.
progress, even a little bit of progress, is really motivating
Yeah.
for people.
Totally.
So setting attainable goals, not ridiculous goals, but little ones that you can actually reach.
I think that's.
I gotta say that the most the demoralizing thing though is seeing regress when you're working extremely hard. And
Yeah.
How would you say? Because I'm sure you've dealt with that too.
Yeah, like from an injury or something. Or
I don't know. For me, I just an inconsistent schedule. And
Yeah.
I'm super busy, and like with
Yeah.
the podcast, sometimes I don't always get to the gym, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
that 400-pound deadlift quickly turned into a 350-pound deadlift again, and it's like shit. It's very demoralizing. I don't know.
Yeah, that sucks. I mean, you've got to get to that mind state where instead of those setbacks making you want to just like sit back and quit,
Yeah.
somehow they push you to get back to the 400-pound deadlift.
Yeah.
And I don't know, because I've had those workouts where I'm just pissed.
Yeah, you're always gonna have
Yeah.
a bad day.
Yeah.
Right? It's tough.
Yeah,
Ugh.
so I mean, gym partners, or I loved working out at that powerlifting gym because I could say, like, you guys, last week I lifted this much. What's happening?
Yeah.
And they would have words of wisdom because they're
Yeah.
like, they've been there, they've
Yeah.
competed,
Yep.
they've all been through injuries and surgeries, and so
Mm-hmm.
and they would always have really good words of wisdom for me. So, a gym like that is really awesome, but we can't all. Now I'm just at like a Gold's. I have no one to talk to.
Oh, no.
But, yeah, and I'm at Gold's in Hollywood, which is just, it's nuts.
Oh, man.
It's crazy.
That's going to be a scene, huh?
Yeah, it really is. It's like a nightclub, basically.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to work on my cardio right now. I'm trying to work on running.
Nice.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
running
That
stuff.
really sucks.
Yeah, I always
Yeah.
say I only run from two things: cops and monsters. That's it.
That's perfect.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I'm working, but I feel like, I mean, it's embarrassing sometimes.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Well, it's inspiring to follow your journey. It really
Oh,
is.
thanks.
And for our listenership and our viewership out there, what is the best way for them to follow you? Would it be Instagram or? would it be-
Yeah, Instagram. So it's Hana_Devore. So it's HANA_DEVORE.
Put that right
And I don't do Twitter because that seems like a crazy place.
It's
I
crazy.
don't do it either.
It's a
And
crazy place.
I want to keep my sanity.
Yeah.
Jeff keeps on telling me I got to Twitter more.
I mean, I do it for work.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah.
Do you run the
It's
Death Wish
crazy.
one?
No, I help run the Death Wish one.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a crazy place.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Twitter's like the Mad Max of social media.
I can't.
Yeah.
Instagram's already nutty enough.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really is.
So, but yeah, Instagram's great, and check out Real Good Foods, of course. if you
Yes,
like
of
pizza.
course, and I'll put that in this episode too. I can't thank you enough for welcoming
No, thank you
us
guys.
here and
Yeah,
having
thanks
us
for
on the
coming
show.
over.
I'm glad we
Yeah.
can make this happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Very
even think
fun.
I've ever hung out on my deck before. Like I bought this patio furniture. I moved here just like a couple months ago, and I don't know that I've actually sat down here before.
Well, I'm
So
glad we could break it
that's
in
kinda
for
cool.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
excellent. Well, thanks so
yeah.
much.
Yeah,
Cool.
of course.
Cheers.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
This has been Fueled by Deathcast, a Death Wish Coffee Company podcast production. Thanks for listening.